talk about like how to have a relationship or how women like don't love themselves and they give themselves away in relationships. Like these young
Mm-hmm.
and they're like sleeping with men before like on the first date or the first time they meet them or whatever. And then they're like, why doesn't this work? And I'm like, because you're giving the cookie up too quick. Like, what the heck?
That and they're just giving their power away or only being in that situation because it's trying to fulfill another purpose or need that they didn't have before
Right. Like,
or that they're lacking.
do you ever watch Darcy and Stacy and Darcy
No,
show on TLC or Bravo?
no.
I think it's on TLC. I don't know. I can't remember which one. But she was one of Darcy, was actually on 90 Day Fiance first. That's how she got her own show. And they're these twins, and they have like Barbie doll bodies that they've like gotten from plastic surgery and stuff. And
Oh boy, yeah.
they're so insecure, like you could cut it with a knife. It's like
Mhm.
anyway, um, Darcy hired a matchmaker and matched him up with this. This is just recent now. Her up with this Brazilian, and I know
Mhm.
they're nice people. So he canceled the second date because something came up with her kids, and she was like devastated and like talking about like, oh, this could be the one. The matchmaker set me up, so this could be the one. And I'm like, you're so desperate to be loved that you'll just take whoever will love you. And then after a while, what happens is they put themselves down here, right? The women do.
Mhm.
And they put
Right.
way up here on this like top shelf. And they're like, oh my God, why
Yeah.
did you make me? And da, da, da. They don't even know him.
Right.
Then
Mhm.
to know him, right? Then they start going up and the men start going down. I'm not going to put her up much higher than this because she still doesn't have very self esteem. She's pretty, but in that like plastic kind of way, pretty.
Mhm. It's the internal just
They've
trying to
got,
do it on the outside.
they've got like really beautiful souls. Like they're both really sweet and they just love and want to be loved. And like their
Mhm.
daughters, Darcy's daughters, are so sweet. But you get them around men and they just completely lose their power
Mhm.
because they've been hurt so much that they just give up. And you can just feel through the screen, I can feel her desperation.
Mhm.
And it's like
Yeah.
sadness or like spilt milk or like
Yeah.
gum that was chewed and lost all its flavor. Like there's no,
Yeah.
like, what are you holding on to?
When there really wasn't even like a substance really because if you don't
Ever.
know them, there's
Right.
nothing really there yet. But
At
that's and you see that everywhere though, and then it spirals into other parts of their lives and they're like, "Why is this so, you know,
Right. Why is
crazy?" And
it working? Why isn't
right.
this working? Why isn't this working? You can
Mhm.
see with Stacy, who's married to another foreigner, and I really like that guy. Um, but they both are so superficial yet again. It's like all this superficial stuff. And um her husband has that really kind, sweet heart too. But again,
Mhm.
a superficiality about it. But they do love each other. I truly believe that Florian and Stacy really love each other and that they'll I know they'll be together for a long period just because Florian and her are like they're a good match. And Stacy
Mhm.
doesn't have that like desperation that Darcy does. But
Right.
that desperation is what walks through my door all the time.
Mhm. You
Issue
can feel it.
every time. And then they start talking about these men, and I'm like, oh, will this relationship work? And I'm like, I'll tell you the truth, like, yes or no. And sometimes, I'll have men that are cheating on women, and I'll be like, no, he's a keeper. Like, you want to keep him. He'll, he treats you well. He loves you, whatever. Like, I tell them the truth. I,
Mhm.
and I get it from whatever God tells me, not what I think.
Right.
When you get these women that are like, even men have come in too and been like, I really want this woman back. And I'm like, no, she's not coming back. This isn't the woman for you. Like, again, putting them up on this like level. And then as they fall, right? And they see then they start like treating each other really badly, and there's all this
Mm,
stuff.
mm-hmm.
They split and then they will like, oh, I want that back. And I'm like, why do you want the fighting back? Why do you want the like,
Yeah.
I don't understand. I just don't understand. I don't understand it. Cause like, I don't know, maybe I just am short sighted and I just don't see, I don't like fighting.
Yeah,
And
I don't know why people gravitate towards it unless they're they were conditioned with it, as a child. Maybe that's part of why they're comfortable with it, but
right. Well,
it's like,
everyone,
why would you want that in a loving relationship? Like, what place does it hold in that relationship?
right, exactly. But my point is like, how do you love yourself so that you can find another person who's loving too, where you can then have a loving relationship together?
Yeah, because it's like, it's funny, I'm getting this visual where, the whole thing where you're on a plane and it's like, do your oxygen mask first before you do other people. And it's like that with love. It's like, if you can't love yourself first in a true, authentic way, you can't give as much love to everybody else or the right attention. It doesn't work, or it'll
Right.
come back and it doesn't really make sense, or it's confusing. And
But look at like you and Aaron. Like he walks in the room and you're just like, "Huh?"
yeah, I light up like a
I know
light
you
bulb.
guys have been married for like,
This will be 7 years this year, I think. 7 or
right,
8. 7.
something like that.
Something like that.
3 kids later, all these
Mhm.
still so much love in the air when he walks in, and vice versa too. Like I can see it in his eyes too, and
Mhm.
that's what I'm talking about. Like, why would you want a relationship that wasn't anything other than that?
Right.
You just look at each other and you just have so much love and laughter and compassion.
Mhm.
For other. Yeah,
Yeah. People almost think that it's kind of goes along with feeling not worthy of that love. It's
exactly.
like when you're in that place and you just
Yes.
stay in that negativity and fighting because you don't think you're worthy to have other people's love.
But it's not even that. It's not conscious. It's
Right.
the
It's
forefront of
completely
being back here. Yeah.
right.
And all
Yep.
this aspiration of is just love me, just love me, just love me, just love me, just love me. I remember being like that.
Mhm.
And
I do
now
too.
myself. And now that I love myself, now I'm like, no, I'm not putting up with anything that doesn't look like that or doesn't have that respect and that love. And like, I don't want drama. I don't want to talk about.
Right. Things that just drag you down and waste your time, and yeah, it's not worth it. There's
Those
so
are
much more to life than that.
right. Those are the kind of conversations that I want to have on our show
Yeah.
and talk to people about and show them how to put like greenhouses together
Yeah, totally.
and like your kids being that they're crystallines, talking about that,
Mhm.
and my dogs who are super cute,
Oh my gosh,
super annoying.
yes.
Yeah, talking about you. Oh my,
Oh.
this morning. Who ate on Mama's crepes? Those are the kind of things. And like, I want to talk about like Michelle has sugar free me and how we can have a diet. Like I should talk. I love sugar.
I mean, I do too, but it's good to have an awareness of like how to eat differently, especially in today's world.
Yeah. Or how about,
Because you don't want to like be like, oh, we can't eat blah, because people won't respond to that. But if you just encourage a new way of thinking and just ideas instead of putting people in this place where they're like feeling like they're on this like strict,
yeah,
regimented diet or something.
right. Or just loving themselves even though they are a little fluffy like me. I love myself when I'm fluffy.
Right. And there's not because that's such a thing right now in society where everybody has to hide behind makeup and all these
Oh,
things society
oh,
thinks that is
oh, and
important.
be beautiful and like duck lips and like their
And cutting your skin from a plastic surgeon
and they have
to
these
only look completely not you anymore. And these people look completely the other direction and not who they ever were.
eyelashes like this.
But and why are we like, why would you spend money on something when you don't, most of the people don't even have the money to spend on it? What is it doing for them?
Well, it's filling up where they're not filled in their hearts. That's what's
Right.
sad. Maybe it's because we are from Wisconsin and we have all this rose quartz shale under us, so we have this like groundedness. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of fluffy people in Wisconsin. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And cheese, guarantee. It does a number on a person, but it's also the coldness, and like
Mm-hmm.
and just our German heritage and Norwegian heritage. Those are I'm German. I'm a big lady. Like I got these German arms. My aunts had these when I was a kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look, you can like squeeze it. My sister and I would be like, oh my God, look at their arms.
Right.
And now we have them. I didn't know the arms I had when I was a kid. But it's definitely, what do you call it, like genetic. It is.
Mm-hmm.
So I love myself now because of it. Like, all right, I have big arms. So what? I have arms as big as a man. Like I have 18-inch arms. Yeah, so I could
Own it.
beat up what do they call those samurai? Sumo wrestlers.
Sumo. Yeah. Sumo. Oh my gosh. Oh.
But I do love myself, and I've learned, and I'm still learning to love those things that are like not socially like beautiful. Do you know what
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
It's
mean? Myself
huge.
regardless. Yeah, like
It's so
doing
big.
the videos that I've done, I've looked at myself and I've been like, oh, you don't look great there, Laura, but it is what it is. Like that's true. That's like who I am and like what I look like some days. It's just
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with it. It happens. We're
right.
human.
Not using filters on myself, and I'm
No.
being who I am.
Yep.
And if you don't like it, they're like Fred Kuhl. That's a Fred Kuhlism. Here it is. You don't like it, there's the door. Don't let it hit you where the good Lord split you.
I love that one. That's good.
It's tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And what else?
I don't know. Do you just want to record that?
Ham sandwiches. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ham sandwich.
It's ironic. I have ham in my house.
Mhm.
That's
So
funny.
every time we get upset, we gotta just go have a ham sandwich.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, Jess is so no, but seriously, setting that up and getting ready for planting. And yes, so I guess this is what our show is going to be about, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
what are we going to name our show?
Yeah, I don't know. We should come up with something clever that people will feel is catches their eye a little bit. Something, I mean, is this like a channel or is it a show?
It's going to be our YouTube channel. That's what
What was
Judy's daughter or granddaughter says all the time. Grandma, come watch my channel. Grandma, you should be on my channel. And I want them to come too this summer, and I want to do like interviews with the Crystaline kids,
Mm-hmm.
show parents what it's like to have what it how to deal with their children, because
Mm-hmm.
are all crystalline now and they're super psychic and they're so nice. And they'll sit and say, Mom, I don't want you and Dad to fight anymore. I just want you
Mm-hmm.
and to love one another and to talk nice to each other. That's how the kids like literally talk, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. All the time.
And then like,
Yep. Or when they notice something that they know isn't okay, they'll just tell you in specifics what you should do instead at 5 years old, 5 or 6 years old. It's like,
can I
okay.
tell you my 7-year-old that taught me how to not, that if you yell at him when he's
Baby.
tired that he doesn't listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
He's crystalline too. So yes, our crystalline too.
Yes.
Our animals
Good,
stop kitties. Oh, crystalline.
good boy.
Be so nice to them, otherwise they don't listen to you. But
Mm-hmm.
with them, they will listen to you. I thought you would like having rules since you're like so. I like things in a certain way, Laura.
I do, but I'm trying
Oh,
to get out of
yes,
that, you
yes.
know. I'm
Huh?
trying to get out of that now. Trying to be a little bit of more of a rebel, you know.
Try to be a little bit more
More of a rebel. Free flowing. Yeah.
flow instead of
Free
so.
flow. Spirit. Oh my goodness. Did you hear? You're a good boy.
No.
You're a good
No.
boy.
Why don't we just call it the show that everybody in the world wants to watch? Your life sucks. Come watch us. There's war, there's famine, there's so much bad stuff. Me too, me too, you too. Abortions. Oh, how not to beat
It's like, mommy.
how not to beat your children.
That's weird.
How to have the best and cool day. Best cool show ever.
Best cool show ever. I like that.
The
To the
coolest
point.
best show ever. How about Cool's Bestie?
Ooh, what? Okay, I love that. That's so good.
Cool's Bestie.
That's amazing.
I think we just figured out our show.
I think we totally just did. That totally clicked. Ding, 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 ding.